Hey everybody, Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader here with a closing wrap up. It's a little after 4:30. So CPI this morning, they head faked it down, printed down around 44.20, and then they took off with it. Ends up being a 2% up day. High of the day 45.24.25. So we talked about the upper level at 44.90 this morning on the webcast, just as you know. If the bulls were to win the day and things headed to the upside, and I even said at the time, not today, but over the course of the week, well, we did it today, and then some. So a nice trading day, unless you were fighting price to the short side. So it ended up just being a long day for us and a ladder up. We messed around with short side a little bit, and then they had a profit-taking little reversal there into the close. I don't think it's much more than that. So we'll see how it goes into tomorrow. The first thing we're going to need to talk about, we'll talk about it in the morning, is we'll have to look and see if this is going to turn into an upper band ride. We had our lower band ride. Remember, lower band, middle band, upper band. And every time you think, oh, it's not going to do that, it can't do that, the central banks are this, and inflation is that, and geopolitics is this, and all that. Price doesn't care. 9 times out of 10, price doesn't care. Lower band, middle band, upper band. And, when it broke through the middle band, and it never even came back to test, at least on a daily basis, it really flattened a lot of, and we talked about it at the time. Let's pull up the hourly. So I would argue that today really is the ultimate expansion from this, basically week-long consolidation. I mean, it was incredibly tight here, right? Little head fakes here, little head fakes here, consolidated some more, and then boom. So the bulls have won this consolidation area. I mean, that's really what we're talking about. It's been really tight in this range, and now, can they follow through? I don't know. We'll know that tomorrow. Now, what's been very typical with CPI reports, you had this massive candle, and it's not the kind of candles we saw last year, but it's the biggest one we've had in a while. They jammed them down. They printed 20 quarter. Then instantly, we were up into the 60s and the 70s. We threw a dart at 73, came back to do 73.25, and then, just kind of lifted ground. When we got into the regular open, your opening print was 86.5, and it really, they printed that in the 935, and it never came back. It never came back. It got a little overextended above 4,500, and we chopped for the vast majority of the day. But it never came back with any kind of a realistic retest. So, but it did come back here and test the rounding, and it held as support. So if that's all it needed to do, then you're going to get probably a very slow bleed up from here. I would not be looking for massive volatility ramp job day number 2. I don't think it's that kind of tape. It hasn't been that kind of tape all year, either on the upside or the downside. It's going to turn into one of these tapes if they want to continue to take it higher, where it's gonna bleed up. It's gonna be tough to be involved with, stay involved with, but you got to keep your head screwed on straight and understand that if the slow bleed up is higher, you can be long, can stand aside. Don't fight it short. Don't fight it short. The number of people that got this wrong down here, that's one thing. I mean, you get blown out of it, right? The real reason this was all sustainable is you've had people fighting this all along. You've had people making a lot of. This is the wrong chart. Hold, please. You've had people making a lot of assumptions all the way up. 40, 122. There's 400 handles if you need them. Crazy. But don't get it wrong. We are not overextended. We are not overbought. We are not parabolic. We are not fill in the blank with whatever bullshit term you're going to read about or scroll by on social media. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 sessions of consolidating price, and the first real 2% up is that's expansion. That's expansion. Some false starts to the downside and upside here and there, which is pretty typical. But these kinds of expansions run farther and longer than people expect. And because they get fought tooth and nail, and whether you're talking about an upside or a downside expansion, because they get fought tooth and nail by the other side, that fuels them going farther. And I tell you this because don't just be like, well, that's it, I'm fading this, and I'm going to hold on, and I'm going to add, and this, that, and the other thing. And I don't care what the tape's doing because I know that we've gone up enough. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. So, let's see what happens tonight. Subscribers, we'll do a subscriber webcast about 8 p.m. tonight. Everybody else, well, first of all, become a subscriber. Second of all, we'll do the morning webcast per usual. We'll see where we are. We'll talk about the potential for a band ride and the overnight price action. All right. Have a great evening. Take care. Trade them well. I'll talk to you then. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princetontrader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade them well.